Hello and welcome to your obligatory Star Citizen Alpha 3.18 update. We are still expecting Alpha 3.18 live mid-December, so that would be the end of next week, and the 3.18 Wave 1 PTU literally any time now. We've had a Alpha 3.18 patch watch, continuing lawlessness from CIG. Let's have a bit of a read of this post and give a bit of context as and when. This week, we reached out to the mission feature team to give you a sneak peek of how they incorporated player feedback into Alpha 3.18's updates. There are loads of quality of life and minor improvements to things like the lore system as well. But yeah, lots and lots of little quality of life things. When at Platinum Bay, players will only be able to see the ships they can spawn at Platinum Bay. No more scrolling and guessing. When reconnecting a comm array, players can now cancel the reconnection if they choose to allow illegal players to retake the location and ensure the lawlessness continues. They changed some fundamentals on how spawn closets work. For example, NPCs will no longer be deleted when they are streamed out and will instead be tied to the streaming manager. This should help fix missing NPCs in missions. So when you go to underground bunkers, when you go to various ground-based missions, those NPCs that don't spawn or you can't find that mean that you can't complete a mission, that should now be solved. They fixed an issue with locations sharing the same names. Now, location names should be unique. They had two unlawful underground facilities being called the same thing, which was causing sort of confusion in certain missions. They fixed an issue where really long crime names would stretch into the date and overlap when using the criminal database. They fixed an issue where the comm array repair mission wouldn't be regenerated due to settings based on the mission record. They fixed an issue where some of the derelict items wouldn't spawn, preventing derelict missions from being completable. They've changed them to use some new tech, as the server was taking some time to send certain events, which made them look like they didn't work. They changed the arrival distance to Security Post Korea when content traveling, so you should now arrive closer than before. Remember that Security Post Korea is now majorly changed with Alpha 3.18. There are lots of defenses there. There are NPCs, there are security forces. It is effectively off limits to civilians and criminals that go there. They can hack down their criminal rating and stuff, but they're going to be in combat a lot of the time. They fixed up the surface relay mission, as there were issues where the terminal wouldn't pop out of the relay. They added voice line packs to security so they feel more alive. They fixed various issues with the Siege of Orison. This included fixing an issue where dialogue would play when players entered a ship being used in an event, and changing the way shipping containers spawn so they are not always at the location. So this is a good indicator that they're going to be running the Siege of Orison again throughout 3.18, which makes sense. Hopefully we'll see Xenothreat and all that sort of jazz as well. We do also know that part of 3.18 has the Siege of Orison platforms at Orison opened up to minor sort of combat missions, or at least smaller scale combat missions, sort of all the time, even when the Siege of Orison isn't running. They changed how some of the objectives work in the prisoner transport missions, so there are more sort of structure to them and they make more sense. They've updated missions to allow non-lethal takedowns to count towards mission progression. This will work for a lot of missions, but not all. They fixed issues with the oxygen kiosk mission, where it wouldn't pick up the correct oxygen kiosk when you were trying to earn merits at Klesha Prison. They made the black spot ignore the comm array overview, so players can commit crimes in this zone and get away with it. So if you are in the area in Klesha Prison where you can potentially get an mission to sort of escape and recover some stuff as you escape Klesha Prison, there is obviously the opportunity to go around on a murder spree without getting in trouble. That said, that is a very tiny little area. They added prison-based loot to the AI inhabiting prison coves, so there are reasons to mug the other prisoners in the mines. And they added a Platinum Bay to the Barton Flats, so players can go there after escaping the prison. So yeah, there are new ways of escaping Klesha Prison, or at least expanded ways to escape and leave the moon there. There's some other changes as well. So air traffic control will now clean up on a landing pad / port when the pad is being assigned for use, so bear that in mind. This will obviously contradict what persistent entity streaming was sort of doing, but they do need to be areas that are regularly cleaned like landing pads and hangars, they have to be cleared by air traffic control, otherwise people would just block them permanently. There's some law changes as well. They fixed an issue where criminals could press charges against lawful players who snared them. They fixed an issue where the gunner of a vehicle can give the pilot a crime stat for attacking a AI vehicle. Medpens won't give crime stats when used on other players anymore. They fixed an issue where if a player rams a stationary unmanned ship and is killed, they can press charges against the owner of the empty ship. They fixed an issue where an aggressor can crash into an innocent person ship and then press charges for vehicle damage. They fixed an issue where players with crimes who have infiltrated the prison can wipe their crimes by getting in the release lift. They modified the call to arms mission to respect crime stats, and they changed it so crime stat 1 and 2s won't have the player be arrested or denied landing or shot at landing zones. Guards won't come and sort of murderize you. You're supposed to pay these crime stat 1 and 2s off at kiosks, these sort of legal kiosks, so that you can go, boom, it's just a bit of a fine, don't worry. And I really like what they've done with all these sort of changes, because it should make it so that the sort of law system is less exploitable and there are less issues with players getting random crime stats or crime stats that they don't deserve. This is obviously incredibly important because with 3.18 we've got the soft destruction system and actual reasons to do piracy. Now, there's a high chance when you take out a ship that the ship does not explode, it is just permanently disabled, and if it's a player crew, the player crew will survive, they can defend their ship from boarding, and you want to board them to take their cargo, which again in 3.18 commodity cargo is physicalized and movable. We should be seeing another patch watch probably next week, and Alpha 3.18 should be in our hands relatively imminently. It's looking chock-block full of content, but what do you think? Are you excited for any of these updates, even these sort of minor ones and the ones to the law system? Do you think Cloud Imperium can make their mid-December release for 3.18 live? What's the first thing that you're going to do in 3.18? What do you want us to be covering when we get First Wave PTU? Remember, there is a full wipe for the patch too, so that's Alpha UBC, ships, vehicles, and reputation all getting wiped. Obviously, you'll keep anything that's on your account that you bought with real money. I mentioned that because Luminalia is on now and people have started collecting Christmas presents to sell them in a big batch, but that's probably going to be wiped, so sort of bear that in mind. But whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below.
Ho ho ho! Merry Nordmas!
It's Santa!
No, Timmy, it's Father Nordmas. I'm legally distinct and spread NordVPN cheer. Here you go, little Tim. Have some discount on your next NordVPN purchase. Just what you wanted. Go to nordvpn.com/boardgamer.
But Santa, we don't want a VPN.
I told you, Tim, it's Father Nordmas.
Every month we have a ship giveaway. For December, we are giving away the mighty Drake Corsair Explorer with a Star Citizen game package and lifetime insurance. This no-nonsense Explorer can take you and 3 friends to the limits of adventure around the verse, and although more focused on exploration and expedition, it is a great multi-role mission runner too. Comment on any of my videos during December to be in for a chance of winning that. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Please don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the videos, leave comments, and if you feel so inclined, use the join button under my videos and give a little bit each month to help the channel. It really, really does help. Or you can even become a Patreon or donate. Check out all the links below. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great time in the verse.